So I wanted to follow up with you again because I said I would follow up and show more of this. So everybody that this goes after, and again, I just can't imagine that the 87 pages of this court record, which again is the same one I printed as this one, okay? And the same people, the plaintiffs and who they're going after. It's just the 87 pages I printed off were more involved. And again, take it with a grain of salt, but it is this court record that was an actual case. But in these 87 pages are the deals that were made. It has nothing to do with Epstein, this stuff, though. This all has to do with the AI and the manipulation. And so this was the one I printed. I showed this in my last video. So if you go to the next page, because it goes further into the misuse of artificial intelligence. See, it goes further here. Weaponization of robot. Yeah, it goes. But again, there's nothing in here about Epstein or any of that stuff. This strictly deals with all of the AI and the biometrics and the not informing people. And this is the next page, but like it says here, because as I said, it's 87 pages, and this is 16th page of 87, and it says, in fact, Elon Musk stated in an interview that he wants to develop AI to a point that it could give him the answers to the simulation. Elon Musk is agreeable to the risks that an AGI or artificial superintelligence can go rogue or be hacked, yet as smart as he is, he doesn't understand that the computing technology the AGI and ASI would not go beyond the level of the atoms to observe more microscopic particles at its plane. Hence, any answers to his sought questions to simulation is limited, and the endeavor of an AGI or ASI is putting humankind at risk. There is an alternative way to achieve his answers that is 100% safe and does not involve giving the power to a machine or artificial intelligence. Defendants have created AI systems that can take in humanity's facial, voice, and other biometric information and decode whether they are resistant to AI, subject to its control, atheist, or have a faith. The technology can enable AI or an entity using AI to track, profile, hunt, and worse, if it deems resistant to its control or resistant to AI or the tech company who controls the system. This can be done with drones, machines, robotics, or poison delivery systems, such as microbiotic terrorism. It does talk in here, too, about the coronavirus. I mean, that's already been uncovered, obviously. But then it later talks in here about how because of the it doesn't say intelligence of Musk, but that because he seemed to show that he wanted to be, he wanted AI to be ethical, like that he may be of help. I'd have to read all of it. I'm sorry, I'm being confusing. It's just so long. Much of it has to do with the persecution in China, and giving of our technology to China. That's what it fear. So believe me, TikTok is nothing compared to what these people have given to China, because then what it's allowed China to do is persecute their people, which is why when Trump blacklisted those 7 Chinese telecom companies, and I don't know how the private sector got around that. All I can think is that maybe the private industry, and maybe it was only the government that couldn't use the Chinese surveillance system. But the reason he blacklisted them were for human rights abuses against the Uyghurs in China, which is all over this stuff. And it was because it was a national security risk. So it just seems to me that if it's a national security risk for the government to use it, then should the private sector be allowed to use it? That's why it was shocking to me that no FBI. The only people that did contact me back then was the White House. It was somebody from Trump's administration. Nobody that anybody would know, but I mean, he left me a voicemail. Other people heard it, so I'm not making it up. They just said that would I watch for their call in a week, and I did, but they didn't call me back. But I had been at that point emailing them about many things, but the biggest thing was about the cameras. So that's why I printed all this. But you know, like here it talks about the Google superconscious AI brain. Google has data on almost all people, things, and subjects on the planet and about everything ever published online. An AI system or an AI robot can assess everything connected to all networks and make imperceptible moves around the world simultaneously. It would be so fast on the 5G network that humanity would be caught off guard. It could be a program malfunction, a purposeful terrorist attack, or an entity or the AI system going rogue based on a self-learning algorithm. The worst possible scenario is that a digital supercomputer, humanoid robot, or a person that has been merged with cybernetics achieves a certain automated consciousness that would be a great threat to humanity. Google has been in China helping them advance their AI program. In return, China's government is advancing their weaponization program. So, that's why there's nothing, this a whole separate thing from all the Epstein stuff. And it does talk in here about the Uyghurs, the Falun Gong, and there were ones that are persecuted in China. But it does go on to talk about how these are all world threats. And again, this organization is Cyrus A. Parsa, the AI organization. Again, take it with a grain of salt because I don't know why it let me print all this off. This was back in 2020. Because all of it has all the deals that were made with everyone. And there's nothing very exciting. Most people had all their money was refunded and they have to make good to humanity. It sounds like deals were made, obviously. It says here, any person, attorney, or entity attempting to dismiss this case can and would face Article 2, 3, and 4 of the Genocide Convention not to exclude public tribunals. Millions of people in China are depending on this lawsuit and awaiting the... So see, I think I don't know how it all works on an international level because even though people think Nuremberg applies to us, it really doesn't, because we don't really we have a different system. We don't. That's why, like the international court, they can take people out of other countries if they want to. But they can't do that with Americans. So even though that's where they had like the Holocaust, court system, and that's where Nuremberg came into play, and that's mentioned in here. I remember hearing way back then that from a lawyer saying that Nuremberg doesn't really apply to America. I mean, all countries should follow Nuremberg, obviously. It's, about ethics so that stuff like the Holocaust doesn't happen again. But as far as there's some difference with America, this lawyer was saying. I don't know, some people wouldn't know it. I watched all of them. They were the Corona Committee meetings, and it was a lawyer and his assistant who I think and they were just bringing all these different people on, some that you see that have platforms, and it was really just informing the world about everything. They took them off YouTube, but they did have another channel. I haven't seen that guy. He was a lawyer out of Germany. I think but he also was a lawyer in California. I know I'm jumping around here. Yeah, I mean, it even has in here, like, the different United States codes. The different United States codes. But I've tried to look at this, try to find these 87 pages now, and I can't. So that's why I hate to say, no, this is all true, but somebody went to an awful lot of work to put all this into it for it not to be, too. So I don't know. And I don't want to scare anybody, but I mean, I shouldn't scare anybody because obviously people were handling these issues. And so it's just got to play out, I suppose.